Do you really think that you're gonna beat Mike Tyson?
Yeah.
Ooh. Well,
I'm nervous.
Yeah, you're
I'm
Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul shouldn't happen. UFC legend and commentator Daniel Cormier seemed frustrated in a recent podcast about the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul controversy. He says that this saga should be over now. Daniel Cormier has been against the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight since it was announced. The former UFC champion doesn't want to see a 57-year-old boxing legend compete against a YouTuber who claims to be a boxer as well, with an age gap of 30 years. In a recent interview, Daniel Cormier also mentioned about Jake Paul failing a lie detector test when Logan Paul asked him about fighting against Mike Tyson.
Tyson fight got rescheduled.
Yeah, that's a terrible idea. We talked about this.
Long time ago, but it's like, I think that's enough, right? Mike being fucking carted off, having the emergency land the plane, like.
Yeah.
Hey, didn't like Jake Paul failed a lie detector test
He did?
about Mike Tyson? Yeah.
What?
I swear to God, he did like a lie.
Boy, you're making this up now.
I swear to God, Jake Paul did like a lie detector test on if he's concerned about Mike Tyson, and he failed it.
So he said he is concerned.
Check it. Check your phone.
Well, you should be, hold on, you should be.
I'm using my thing. Check your phone.
Okay, well, I'm trying.
Anyways, the fight must go on, so if Tyson fails to show up to the fight yet again, Jake Paul can count on his brother Logan Paul to show up and fight him. It turns out Logan Paul is serious about taking the place of Mike Tyson after news of Mike Tyson being out of the fight broke. People didn't believe Jake Paul at that time, but in a recent interview with Donald Trump, Logan made it official.
I was willing to step in for Mike Tyson when Tyson got sick and had to postpone his fight, and we actually like ran it up the chain at Netflix.
It's hard. Donald Trump raised concern for Logan Paul fighting his own brother. Trump said, "You love your brother, so it's hard to fight against him." Logan said, "We love each other, and we came to a conclusion that whatever happens, we are okay with it." He stated, "Well, me," and decided that obviously we both come from a place of love, and whatever the outcome would be, we'd have to be okay with that. But obviously, I love my brother. Demetrius Johnson also thinks that Mike Tyson shouldn't be fighting Jake Paul anymore. He believes that there are a lot of fighters out there older than Jake Paul. He thinks Tyson is just hurting himself fighting at the age of 58. He says that he knows Mike Tyson is a big name, but he's too old now for this. Jake Paul can fight any other fighter and build his record. He thinks that it's the stupidest thing happening in the history of boxing right now. He stated, "He's 58 years old. I don't know what his health history is, and I think the biggest thing is you have someone who is 58 years old trying to push his body to the absolute limit, moving. I don't know if he's sparring or anything like that. I love Jake Paul. I just think there are so many acking boxers out there that he can fight and build, pad his record with. I understand Mike Tyson is a big name and Netflix wants to do it, but I don't think they should revisit it. Of course, the goal is not just to find someone to fight Paul, but to find someone notable. Tyson versus Paul is expected to be the first fight broadcast live on Netflix, and given the access the streaming giant provides worldwide, the bout figures to be one of the biggest fights of the year, if not the century. It's also a classic. Jake Paul and Logan Paul take a lie detector test. Paul fights, as he's facing a star who is significantly older than he is, as he did with Ben Askren, Woodley, Anderson Silva, and Nate Diaz. But the mighty mouse that shtick is wearing thin. If they want something that's big, get a very good boxer that's really good and have Paul fight him. His skills should sell enough. I'm not here for a acking circus. I'm here for, are you legit or not? Fight a legit boxer who is 8-0. The main reason which raised concerns among fellow boxers, MMA fighters, and fans is the huge age difference. Tyson, who will be 58 years old by the time of the fight in Dallas, and Jake will be 27 years old. Many people have expressed worries about the potential risks of such a significant age difference between the two fighters. Now, with Jake Paul's new fight being announced, many people are not really sure whether the match with Tyson will even go ahead. The fight was already very controversial due to Tyson's old age and health issues.
The ultimate disruptor, taking on the baddest man on the planet. July 20th, AT&T Stadium, Arlington,
Jake Paul's commitment of fighting against Mike Tyson remains firm even after the fight, which was originally scheduled on the 20th of July, was rescheduled on November 15th. But rumors are swirling around the internet, and many reported that Paul's camp told that he would fight the bare-knuckle boxer Mike Perry on the original Tyson's fight date of the 20th of July.
Because Jake Paul has finally moved on, he's fighting someone else, and that man is not 58 years old. He's a badass, he's a real fighter, he's a tough test. He's not a boxer necessarily, but he is a man from the bare-knuckle world. And you know who I'm talking about. It's the Platinum One himself. Platinum Mike Perry, a man that I have a lot of...
Following the announcement, Paul cryptically tweeted, "I smell victory," seemingly confirming the news. But he later clarified his intentions, affirming his commitment to the rescheduled plan of facing Tyson in their live-streamed professional contest at AT&T Stadium on Netflix. Paul's most valuable promotions haven't released a statement about the rumored fight quite yet, but when they do, things are likely to be much clearer. The former UFC champion Michael Bisping stated that he respects Jake Paul for stepping in the ring with a bare-knuckle beast, Mike Perry admitting that Jake has improved over his 4-year boxing tenure. He stated, "He's not technical, he's not sharp. Yes, he has power. He's a young man in his prime, and he's not a bad lump of a man. So, of course, he's going to have power, and he's dedicated himself, and he's improving all the time. So fair play. I give him respect for that." Despite acknowledging the fact that Jake Paul has made major improvements, Bisping believes that the YouTuber turned boxer, Jake Paul, is making a huge mistake by fighting against the Platinum Mike Perry. He said, "I say that he has made a big mistake here. He thinks Mike Perry's easy work. He thinks Mike Perry's got a big name. He's a big star, and he's going to go out there and beat him. He's wrong." Some have even sensationally claimed on social media, without any basis whatsoever, that the bout is fixed. Boxing supremo Turki Alalshik has jokingly suggested Mike Tyson's ring return is rigged. He wrote, "Please, brother Mike, forget the script and beat this guy." Even after the fight was postponed to November 15th, because of Tyson's medical condition, Tyson is still confident about knocking out Jake Paul. He posted a video on X declaring that he will knock out Jake Paul.
"Different date, same fate. I'm gonna knock out Jake Paul."
Former UFC welterweight contender Dan Hardy isn't really sure that the fight will take place on the new scheduled date. Hardy thinks Jake is a mastermind for fighting against Mike Sion. However, since there are still 5 months left till November 15th, no one knows what could happen in these 5 months that could prevent the fight from taking place. He said, "I'll be honest, I'll be surprised if it actually happens. I think there's a lot of days between now and then for something to happen, and the fight to not take place." Hardy thinks that if the fight really goes on, Jake Paul would take possession as he's a young fighter in his prime. But he also said he can never count on Mike Tyson. Tyson still moves fast, and no one knows what he will bring on the fight night. He stated, "I would never, ever count Mike Tyson out. He's got that fire in his eyes. You can still see it, and he still moves very, very well." At the same time, Jake Paul is a young, big, powerful athlete, and he's got the chance to fight Mike Tyson. That brings an extra level out anxiety of you, surely. Hulk Hogan says that Mike Tyson has the eye of the tiger ahead of Jake Paul's fight. He said that he can see the old Mike Tyson. Hogan believes when Tyson trains, he still moves like he did 20 years ago. He thinks that when you get targeted by Mike Tyson, you are already destroyed. He stated, "This is just a small glitch in the system, a temporary setback. If you watch Tyson train, he's quick, he's fast, he moves like he did 20 years ago. Tyson has that eye of the tiger. When he gets focused, he will seek and destroy. And I see that bad dog look in his eye now. I just hope Jake Paul steps up and is ready for Iron Mike." Hogan further mentioned that he's friends with both Tyson and Paul. He complimented Paul for taking boxing seriously and making a mark in the boxing business. Pro boxer Anthony Joshua was recently seen in the Jonathan Ross show, where he was asked to make a prediction about Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight. He thinks that the age difference between both fighters is a major factor. He said that Jake Paul is young, and it's the biggest advantage you can have. He stated, "The only thing I'm worried about is father time. That's one thing that's never been beat. And Tyson, he's older now, but I pray that he comes out healthy. But I think Jake Paul is young. That's the only thing, because of the youth." Anthony Joshua was also asked about his views on the general trend of YouTubers becoming professional boxers. He seemed to be in support of this. He stated, "Well, I personally think it's really good. I think that the boxing hardcores, like boxing fanatics, they don't like it because it's like, why are they disrespecting our sport? There's an Olympic system that you have to go through, and once you qualify there, then you go into the professional ranks. Whereas someone with a profile can just come out of nowhere and fight one of the best guys." He described how YouTubers like Jake Paul can bring more audience to boxing, which is obviously a good thing for this sport. He said, "Because of these big matches, more people who are actually on YouTube can get into boxing, which is a benefit to the sport."
Let's say we divided this crowd in half, and you've got half of the people that are hardcore boxing fans and half of the people that love a certain person that's into YouTube.
Like a YouTuber, yeah.
But that person brings all of these people into boxing, which benefits everyone else that's
Because
involved
some
in
of
the
them might
industry.
stay not just for that match. They
Yeah.
might get
UFC heavyweight Curtis Blaydes disliked this fight so much that he wasn't even going to watch it if it happened on July 20th. In an interview, the host asked Blaydes his thoughts on the fight and asked whether he planned to watch it. He said that it's a joke fight and he won't be watching this fight.
I will not be watching. I think it's a joke fight. You could tell just by how they've been interacting with the face-off and the press conference. That's not the Mike Tyson who's coming to rip your head off. That ain't Iron Mike.
The notorious Conor McGregor was not sure what to make of this fight, as it seemed a bit strange to him. During an interview for his upcoming film Roadhouse, Conor was asked that what he thinks about the fight between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. He replied, "Jesus, I don't know. It's a strange one for me. I wish well for Mike." McGregor also accused Jake Paul for setting a bad example for young boxers. He stated, "For me, it does set a bad precedent in the industry. What you've got now is, and I would say this to the young athletes coming up, men and women, don't aspire to be one of these YouTube fighters. Aspire for world titles. Aspire for the Olympics. That is how you etch your name in history. Doing these little smash and grab fights, you might get a few likes, but there's nothing substantial to it. It's hollow. It can be profitable, but it's hollow. I'm noticing a trend in young fighters coming up that are not even interested in competing in the amateur scene or rising up to win a national title. You need the gold on the waist. You need to etch your name on the belt." Mike Tyson doesn't stop here. His age doesn't bother him at all. Not only he is planning to defeat Jake Paul, the Iron Mike is willing to face Anthony Joshua as well. Mike Tyson stated, "I'm very interested. If doing that means we can have a bigger charity exponent, well, so be it. I'm down to do that too. I would love to fight Joshua. That would be mind-blowing." Mike Tyson thanked his fans for their support and understanding his condition. He said his body is much better now, and his medical condition has bought Jake Paul some more time. "I want to thank my fans around the world for their support and understanding during this time. My body is in better overall shape than it has been since the 1990s, and I will be back to my full training schedule soon. Jake Paul, this may have bought you some time, but in the end, you will still be knocked out and out of boxing for good." President of UFC Dana White also has the same perception about this fight. He was asked why he's so against this fight. He stated, "I'm not against it. I love Mike Tyson. Nobody wants to see Mike get beat by this F***J**RK off. When this fight happens, Tyson will be 58 F***ing years old. Under any circumstances, a F***ing almost 60-year-old man shouldn't be fighting a 27-year-old guy." Dana also mocked Jake Paul for not fighting someone who's his age and caliber. He talked about Jake Paul's loss to Tommy Fury and said Paul doesn't want to go back on that same route.
My biggest problem with the Jake Paul thing is, and how this plays out, is when he actually fought somebody who was a boxer, who had the same type of record he has, who was his age,
Tommy,
and who was his size, he fucking lost.
Yeah.
So they're never going to go that fucking route again, right?
Close fight.
And they're trying to pull this whole narrative, like when people, I saw some guy the other day say, "When are you going to stop fighting gimmick fights? You're going to call Mike Tyson a gimmick?"
Yeah. It is a gimmick fight, but if I'm him, I would never.
Some pros believe that Mike Tyson shouldn't be fighting at this age. His medical conditions could be serious. Sports Illustrated reporter Chris Mannix shared his views during an interview on The Rich Elson Show. He said, "Mike Tyson is 57 years old. He's almost 58 years old. They're saying it's a minor ulcer issue, but I don't think anything's minor at that stage of your life, especially when it comes to putting yourself in the proper shape to fight a professional boxing match." Former British professional boxer Tony Jeffries was also disappointed in Mike Tyson for taking this fight. He believes that even a legend like Mike Tyson can be bought, which makes this situation very sad. He stated, "It's so sad that Mike Tyson has got to do this fight. Someone on Instagram said that he's choosing to do it. But why is he choosing to do this? Well, he's doing it for one reason, and one reason only, and that is money. He's getting so much money to do this, so that tells me that he's getting bought. It's very sad that someone like Mike Tyson, a boxing legend, can get bought. He shouldn't be able to be bought like this. He's 57 years old. He should be enjoying retirement." Stephen A. Smith never agreed to this fight when the fight was first announced. He was disgusted by the fact that Tyson is too old to fight. He stated, "I'm sad. I'm saddened by it. I'm disgusted by it. I don't like it one bit. I'm not taking anything away from the great Mike Tyson, who we all treasure because of the years of greatness he gave us. But he is 57. If you liked this video and want to see more content like this, then like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you remain well aware of every upcoming fight between the champions.